Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well and thank you for joining me for today's video. So if you're new around here, I'm Holly and I would love it if you could subscribe to my channel. If you're a returning subscriber, then thank you for coming back. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking all things hair, specifically my hair. I am in no way a hair care professionalist. Is that the right thing to say? You know what I mean. I'm not trained in hair, I haven't studied hair, but I thought I would just give some advice on what I personally do with my hair, some tips and tricks, and I'm also going to be answering some of your questions from Instagram as well. So I did ask for the questions as this morning as I'm filming this video, so if I don't answer them all or I get more like throughout this afternoon and this evening, I will do a part 2 to this video, so I will make sure to answer every single question that I've been sent. So if you do enjoy the video, please do give it a big thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. So I don't really know where to start. I've got a lot to get through and I think I'm going to start off with just kind of like my hair care routine. So how often I wash it, what I get done at the hairdressers, and just like the sort of circumstances around my hair to start with. So I normally wash my hair every 3 days-ish. It does get greasy quite quickly, but I think that's because I touch it a lot. I'm always like touching my hair and like running my fingers through it, and doing that really does make your hair greasy. So if you're finding that your hair's getting greasy really quickly, maybe it's because you're kind of sat at your desk, maybe with your hand on your head, or if you're on the train and you're just kind of leaning your hands, or if like me, you're always touching your hair or moving out your face, tucking it behind your ear, or just like fiddling with your hair will make it greasy. And I've noticed this myself, and when I don't touch my hair, it definitely doesn't get as greasy. If you're trying to avoid kind of greasy hair, then definitely have a go at trying to not touch your hair, which is definitely easier said than done because I do it all the time. It's definitely a bad habit of mine, but I have noticed the less I touch it, the less greasy it gets throughout the day. That way I can kind of get away with an extra day of not washing it. However, if I've gone 3 days and I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered to wash it, I will use the Batiste. This stuff will always give my hair like an extra day of wear. I don't really use this any more than once just because it kind of gets a bit thick in your hair, and just, you know, when you need a hair wash, you've stretched it out one day. I probably couldn't stretch it out another day with dry shampoo, but this is great for giving my hair a quick refresh or adding a bit of texture. It's great for that as well. But yeah, if I'm on like day 3 or day 4 and I can't bother to wash it, but it needs a bit of a freshen up, this is what I go for. And I always use this tropical scent just because it smells really nice. They've got so many different scents, but this one's my favourite. So a few of you have asked over on Instagram what I ask for at the hairdressers, so like what I have done. So when I go to the hairdressers, depending on how much I want to have cut off, obviously I will let the hairdresser know, and that can vary. Last time I went and I had pretty long hair and I had quite a lot cut off. Sometimes I will have it shorter and have a bit less cut off. It just depends on how long or short I want my hair on the day. Sometimes I get a bit nervous going to the hairdressers because I'm like, oh god, I don't know what I want. But Harriet, my hairdresser, she's just amazing and she'll do whatever I ask her to do. So I think finding a hairdresser that you trust as well is always a big thing to like try and do, because there's nothing worse than going to like a random hairdresser and not knowing them, and they not knowing your hair, not knowing what you like. So if you find a good hairdresser, stick with them because that's the key to good hair. So I pretty much will obviously just have like a trim or whatever I want cut off, and then when it comes to my colour, I'm not sure if you can see, but I do have like slight kind of highlights, balayage hair colour going on. I'm just going to turn the camera up because I don't know if we're a bit dark. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I normally just have like little kind of natural like lights put through. So when I have my hair done, my kind of main aim is for it to look as natural as possible, which is quite tricky I suppose if you're dyeing your hair, because obviously it's not natural. But I like it to look sort of sun-kissed. Not that I've gone to the hairdresser and had like loads of highlights, but as though I've been sat out in the sun and it's just got a nice kind of healthy lift to it. That's pretty much what I go for. And because my hair is so kind of, it's got very warm pigments and it's got very red pigments in it. You probably won't be able to tell on the camera because it always looks pretty, well right now it does look quite ashy, but make sure you know whether your hair is a warm tone or a light tone, and don't, if you're unable to kind of work that out yourself, don't go by what the first hairdresser tells you. Make sure you ask a variety of hairdressers to tell you whether your hair is warm or cool, because I have been to various hairdressers before. The one that I go to now, she's fabulous, but some people that I've been to before have said, oh, you've got really cool hair, we can definitely make it really blonde and really white. But I know that my hair wouldn't do that because it's got such warm tones. So make sure you know whether your hair is warm tone or cool tone before going to the hairdressers and then asking for what you want. With me knowing that my hair is so red and so warm, like the pigments, obviously it's not red, but it has warm pigments in it, and knowing that, I know to make sure to ask Harriet for something that's really, really ashy, really, really light, because even at the ashiest and the lightest colour, because my hair is so warm, it's still not going to be a completely white blonde, if that makes any sense. Whereas on the other end of the spectrum, if you have naturally really ashy, cool toned hair, then you're probably going to be able to dye it any colour you want with ease, because there isn't going to be any warmth there to make any kind of blondes go yellow or anything like that. And I say that learning from experience, because years and years and years ago when I was at school, I went to the hairdressers with complete brown hair. I hadn't really dyed it before, and I said, I want to be blonde, I just want to be all over blonde, and the lady did it for me, but it went yellow. So I learned from that mistake, and I learned why it went yellow, and knowing that, I'm now really cautious with what I ask for at the hairdressers, and I always make sure to go for the lightest tone that we can, the coolest kind of colour, because I know it will warm up a little bit with the warmth of my hair. So I hope that makes sense with colouring. I'm not an expert, I'm not saying I am, but just from things that I've learned, just, yeah, kind of try to get to know your hair from as many people as you can. Try and learn whether it's warm or too cool toned, and then think about the colour in which you want to put on, because one colour on 5 different people's hair colour, it will always be different. So you need to kind of try to learn about your hair and what sort of colours it will go. And one thing that I always make sure to ask for at the hairdressers is to never have the colour put in from the roots, because well, my hair grows fast anyway, so if I was to have colour right from the roots, like all the way down, it would just grow out so quickly, and it would just look unnatural. Whereas if you have the colour sort of scattered through the hair a bit further down, A, you don't have to go to the hairdressers as regularly, because you're not going to be able to see that it's grown out, and B, it looks more natural that way, because if your hair was just naturally sun-kissed, it isn't going to be from up here in lines, it's just going to be in little sections throughout your hair, if that makes any sense. And I always like to bring the front bits up a little bit higher, just so like they don't grow out too quickly, but things around the back and around the sides, I never have it done right from the top, for the reason why I said. So I think that covers like washing it and what I have done at the hairdressers. So now I'm just going to talk through a couple of products that I use to wash it at home. So recently I have discovered this shampoo and conditioner. It's from TIGI Copyright. Now this was a brand I hadn't heard of. I was very kindly gifted this. This isn't sponsored. I'm not being paid to say this. But this product I have genuinely seen a fantastic result in. So prior to discovering this one, I've been using this L'Oreal one, which is fabulous, but I don't see as big a difference in the tone of my hair as I do when I use the TIGI. However, that being said, this is a really great product as well, so I will link this in the description. This is basically a purple shampoo and conditioner to really kind of, well, it says here, blondify and cool your hair down. So I use like a blondifying toning shampoo maybe sort of like every other time or every 2 times I wash my hair, just because, as I've said before, it is very warm. The blonde that I have done goes yellow very, very quickly, so I just want to kind of eliminate the brassiness as much as possible. But yeah, this shampoo here, this TIGI one, literally once I've washed my hair and I start to dry it, it already looks cooler, and that can be quite hard to find, I think, with shampoos, because I've used so many from like the drugstore and a lot of them just don't work for me personally. This one I know is very pricey. I have been gifted this set, but I'm happy to invest my money in buying it myself once these ones run out. I mean, I don't know if you can tell, but like they're kind of getting close to being empty. yeah, these ones aren't actually purple, and it says here that it is meant to give your hair volume. It's not specifically a purple shampoo for brightening your hair, but it does say here that it has a colour care complex in it, and for me this really does work. Like I said, it's not purple, but it definitely brightens up my blonde and leaves me with like fresh looking hair once I've used it, so I definitely recommend that. I also recommend the L'Oreal one as well. And for the days where I'm not going to use anything like purple or anything to specifically brighten up my blonde, I will just use Pantene. I feel as though, well, I make sure to use the Colour Protect one obviously, but I feel as though I've tried so many shampoos, and don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great ones on the market, on the drugstores, but nothing has compared to Pantene for me, because this is just such a classic shampoo, and I know if I use it I'm just going to be left with clean, fresh, silky hair, and it's pretty affordable. I think those bottles were like £2.50 each, and it's just a product that I always go back to. It's just like a classic, and it just works for me. I know that I can give my hair like a double wash with it. I normally kind of wash my hair once and then I wash it again afterwards. The second time it always froths up a lot more, and you can really feel as though it's working, so I always do a double wash. And then I would do a conditioner, but when I condition I make sure to avoid the roots. I only ever really condition my hair from like sort of here downwards, just because if you get conditioner up near your roots and you don't get it out properly, or it could just get greasy basically, it can just make your roots feel sticky and greasy, and we don't want that. But yeah, I just feel as though the Pantene just leaves me with really clean hair, and it's just a pretty simple shampoo. There's nothing crazy with it, but for me personally it just works, and for the price it's fantastic, because I do get through a lot of shampoo because my hair is quite thick, quite long. It's definitely not as long as it used to be. It used to be like down here, but it can take quite a lot of washing, so having an affordable shampoo is great, because obviously you're getting through it pretty quickly. You don't want to be spending loads and loads of money on a shampoo if it's just for cleaning your hair. So yeah, I totally recommend just Pantene shampoos. But as I said, I'm definitely happy to invest more money into my blonde like treatment shampoos, because they're the ones that you really want to work. So when it comes to brushing my hair after it's been washed, or just on a day-to-day basis, I will make sure to use Tangle Teasers. This is my wet brush, but I do also have one just for like dry hair, but I don't actually know where it is at the moment. And I've used these for years and years and years. I don't use normal hairbrushes on my hair because they do, well, for start I find they hurt my hair because my hair gets quite knotty and they don't seem to go through my hair at all. And I just find Tangle Teasers just run through my hair. They make brushing my hair a lot less of a chore. And yeah, it doesn't hurt, and they just kind of work through any knots really easily, and I feel as though they're not quite as aggressive on your hair. They don't really pull out as much, and yeah, kind of leave you scraping your head and with a hairbrush stuck through your hair. You never get that with a Tangle Teaser, so definitely recommend those if you don't have one. So moving on to another product that I use on a very regular basis, and it's this Aussie Sensational Protect. So this is a conditioning mist, but it literally makes your hair smell incredible. I've got two other scents of this one, but this one with the like turquoise logo on it just smells incredible, and it smells quite nostalgic to me. Like, it's kind of like a coconut, like holiday, like surfy kind of scent. I don't know if that's going to make any sense to anybody, but like I can just imagine being on a beach, and this, you can smell this on your hair all day, and other people can definitely smell it as well. And yeah, you just walk around, and if you move your hair, it just oozes gorgeous scent with this. So if you want your hair to smell good, this is my little secret. And when I remember, I'm definitely not a perfect hairstyler because I don't always remember to use heat spray. When I do, I will make sure to pop one on. This is just a VO5 one. I don't have any particular one that I buy. To be honest, I'll probably just buy whichever one is in the shop at the time. They're not really something that I've looked into that much because I've never seen a difference with using different ones. I just use them and hope that they're protecting my hair like they say they are. And I guess they do work because my hair isn't like frazzled. So yeah, I would always recommend to use a heat spray if you can. just because they should help with breakages and should eliminate the damage to your hair like they say they do on the bottle. As I said, I've never really seen that much of a difference, but then not having dry hair or like split ends, then I suppose it is working. So another product here is after I've styled my hair, so if I've curled it and the curls are looking a bit frizzy or they're just not quite as kind of calm as I would like them to be, I will use an oil. This one is from L'Oreal and this is their Mythic oil, I think that's how you say it, but I will literally just pump like 1 or 2 pumps of that into my hands, just like rub it around, and then I will just kind of brush it with my fingers through my hair and just kind of get things a bit more tame and a bit more structured with that. I can often find sometimes if I'm curling my hair straight after washing it, the curls can look quite frizzy and not very nice, so having an oil to hand is great just for kind of taming them and maybe just sort of like separating them and just making them a bit more defined. So when it comes to styling my hair, I'm just going to show you the kind of electrical things that I use. So to dry my hair, this is the hairdryer that I use. I think Alex actually, my boyfriend Alex actually got me this, like, was it last year or the year before? And I've used it ever since and it works absolutely fine. It's powerful, it's hot, and it works. I don't really know how you would necessarily review a hairdryer, but this one works for me. But I don't think you have to invest in a really expensive hairdryer for it to work. But this one does seem to leave my hair feeling very smooth and soft, so I guess it's good. But yeah, that's the one I use. I will link it down in the description if I can. And then as for a curling wand, I used to use a Remington one, which I think you would have seen if you've been subscribed for a while. I did a like curling hair tutorial and I used that one, but since then I rediscovered this one that was just in like one of my hair drawers a while ago. It's a really old curler and I have just made sure it's still available, and it's on Beauty Bay. It's literally like £20, and this is a curler that I'm using at the moment. This is the one that I've used to create these curls, and it just gives it a bit more of an elegant curl, and it's just really basic. It just works. So it's got 4 temperatures on it. I use it on 195 degrees, and you don't need to hold it on your hair long at all. Like, you literally just wrap it around, wait for a couple of seconds. I then just let the hair fall onto my hand. I will hold the curl and then I will just let it go. Yeah, this is like super cheap and it's just amazing. So this one is, yeah, what I'm currently using at the moment. I have had a GHD one before, but unfortunately it died a while ago. So yeah, I've just been using this one and I've actually been loving it. So yeah, definitely recommend this. Then if I want to straighten my hair, I will just use classic GHDs. To be honest, if I was to tell you what to invest your money in the most when it comes to hairstyling products, straighteners would be the one that I would say to put your budget into, because straighteners are the one that I've noticed the biggest difference. I've used really cheap straighteners and they definitely don't work as well as GHDs. Obviously they work and they do the job, but if I was to say spend money on a straightener or a curler or a hairdryer, a straightener would be the one that I would say to go for. I've got this set and these are quite old, I think. I'm definitely kind of overdue a new pair, but they're quite wide barrel, and I remember getting these just because at the time I had really long hair and they just get through more hair at once basically. And I do also have a small set as well, so if I don't want like a really kind of wavy curly hair, I will curl it with a straightener. Maybe I'll do a video on that, but I'm not that good at doing it, so maybe I should perfect my skill a bit more before showing you guys. But yeah, sometimes I will use a straightener to curl my hair, but I will make sure to use the smaller one just because I personally find it easier. But Harriet, my hairdresser, she always curls it with the straightener with the bigger ones, I think, and she always makes it look amazing. But for me personally, I find it easier with a thinner one just whilst I'm learning, just because it's easier to create a tighter curl, I think. So yeah, that's the kind of main like utensils that I use on my hair. So 2 random little tips that I've noticed. One is if you sleep with your hair up, which I do not recommend, but I definitely do myself. Well, not all the time, but like if Alex is around or I'm at Alex's house, I will tie my hair up just because it gets in the way, and I will sleep with it in a scrunchie. So for a very long time a while ago, I was sleeping with my hair just in like a regular hair bubble, and because these have got the elastic in them and they're so taut, it was actually ripping my hair out, and I was really nervous at the time because my hair was just getting thinner and thinner and it was coming out in chunks, and I was starting to get like little patches where it had gone thinner, and I was like, what the hell's going on? And then I finally realised that because I was sleeping with my hair up, and it was the hair bubble basically. And I remember at the time I was sleeping with it in a bun. Do not sleep with your hair in a bun, because your hair is all wrapped around the hair bubble and folded, and it's just going to snap throughout the night when you're turning over. And I wish I'd known that myself. I was so silly to sleep with it up. So if you are doing that and you're wanting like a better hair quality, then try sleeping without it up. Especially do not sleep with your hair in a bun if you can, because yeah, it definitely did a lot of damage to my hair. So if I have to wear it up at night time, or I want to wear it up, then I will make sure to use a scrunchie. This one is just like so old and so battered, but it's like really loose and soft. So something like this is exactly what you need for your hair if you're going to sleep with it up. Another thing that I've heard is also to sleep with your hair in a silk pillowcase. I don't actually do this, but I have heard that that's a great tip. I've just got some cotton ones, but they haven't seemed to be too much of a problem. Although I had last year, when my hair was falling out amongst the hair bubble situation, I was using a brushed cotton pillowcase, and that was really pulling my hair out as well. So try to avoid brushed cotton. I know they're very cozy for like autumn winter, but that definitely did do some damage to my hair. So try to stick to just cotton or a silk pillowcase if you can. And then another little tip is, when you're washing your hair and it's done, try to blast it with some cold water. I don't know the science behind it, but I find when I do that, my hair just goes really silky and really soft. So just a random tip that's worth a try. So I'm going to do a couple of questions from Instagram now, and then I think I'm going to do a part 2 to this video, just because this is already so long. But there's just so much that I wanted to tell you, because I wanted just to cover everything. But the first question I have, well, a few people have asked me my hair care routine, but I think I've probably covered that. And a couple of people have asked about my hair curlers and things, but obviously I've covered that too, so hopefully that's okay. And then someone has asked, is like straightening your hair on a regular basis bad for your hair? And I think I would say it is bad for your hair, but to be honest, I do have quite thick, strong hair, so I don't notice too much damage from like hot hairstylers. But if you do want to straighten it, then I would just say to try to use heat spray and use like conditioning products. I know that Aussie do some great like conditioning sprays, so maybe try a conditioning spray as well. And if you can, maybe try to avoid straightening it if you're not going anywhere in particular. Maybe just keep the straightening for if you're going to like a special occasion, or you want to look maybe a bit more put together. For example, like on the days where I'm at home and I'm not filming or I'm not going anywhere, I will just leave my hair natural, because I think leaving it to do its own thing every now and then is good for it. But yeah, try to minimise as much as you can with the straightening. I know it's easier said than done if you go out a lot, or you have to go to an office or something and you want your hair to be straight. But yeah, straightening or using the heat on your hair is definitely damaging. Maybe try to stop using the straightener and then use the hairdryer. So if you already blow dry your hair, maybe try to blow dry it straight, and then maybe that could eliminate you having to use a straightener. And then a couple of people have asked if I take any supplements for my hair, and I don't really take any supplements at all, to be honest. It's not really something I've ever gone down, so I don't know anything about it, and I can't really recommend any. But yeah, I don't use any at all, so I can't really help with that one, unfortunately. Somebody else has asked how to manage frizzy hair. So actually, as I said earlier, so if your hair's frizzy after styling it, try to put on an oil like this one that I showed earlier. This is the L'Oreal Mythic oil. I will link it down in the description. Or just like any sort of oil should be able to help your hair, kind of help you control your hair a little bit if it's styled. And another product that is great is this Aussie one. This is a 3-minute miracle calm the frizz deep treatment. So this is a great one for if your hair is just getting a bit out of control and you just need to kind of tame it back a bit. This is definitely worth a try. So I'm going to leave this video here. I know I'm kind of cutting it a little bit short, but I don't want to keep answering questions and this video would be super long. I feel as though it's already like half an hour long, so I'm going to have to cut it a bit shorter. And if anybody's watching this video and you have any questions or anything you would like me to answer, feel free to leave them in the comments. That way I should be able to see them before I film my next video and like do a part 2 to this. So yeah, I hope that I've covered a good amount of things for you today. Keep your eyes open for the second video, which I'm sure will be up very soon. But I hope you found this helpful in some way, and as I said, if there's anything else you want to know, just feel free to ask or message me over on Instagram. I'll pop my handle on the screen somewhere so you know what it is. But yeah, other than that, I really hope you have enjoyed this one, and I will see you in my next video.